Now, I believe that this Kizer represents one of the more affordable Elijah Isham designs. I mean, come on, let's face it, his stuff is really in demand, and for good reason. So this is the Kizer Theta, model number KI4514, and you should be looking at some of the specs. Yep, right there. But don't worry, I will also have them listed down in the description below, just in case you like to follow along through the review. And we'll get into what I like, what I don't, and some of the potential deal breakers. But first, how about we do size comparisons? So all the comparison knives that I chose today are all similar in blade shape to the Theta. So we'll begin with this is the Ganzo Firebird FH31. And now this one, it's sort of a Kizer, I guess, right? From Tangram, the Santa Fe. Next up is Zero Tolerance and the ZT0456. Now this next one, this is a knife, it's slowly moving higher and higher on my favorites list. This is the Mastrap Ferrum Forged Dowel. Now about two more. The Benchmade 940, and lastly, the PM2. For those of you that are really kind of running short on time, I want to say this to you. It's a nice knife, and it has a lot going for it. There's a lot that I really like. Unfortunately, there's more that I don't. So if you want to find out why, stick around. Now, Mr. Isham, he has been a very busy man lately. I mean, with all of his different collaborations going on with many manufacturers. So I wanted to go ahead and kind of, I don't know, toss my hat into the ring and, get a production Isham knife just to kind of help me understand his increasing popularity. What first caught my eye about the Theta, though, is probably the blade profile. You guys know I love a wide blade profile. So from the spine to the sharpened edge, you're looking at 1.25 inches. Yes, I love it. And what's also nice about this blade shape, if you look here, yep, you see that? Just about, well, actually, yeah, you get all full use of the entire sharpened edge when you're cutting on a flat surface, which is nice in the kitchen, right? So starting out with this this blade here, you're looking at, what do you want to call it? Modified sheepsfoot, Wharncliffe, hey, whatever you consider it, I'm okay with that. And it's in S35 VN, which that's Kizer's go-to steel. It's got, you can see it has satin flats and then a stone-washed grind. It's a really nice look on this flat ground blade. Has a very interesting, I guess, sharpening choil area, you would call that. I mean, technically you can go ahead, you can choke up a little bit, and you might need to because your hand's going to be sitting kind of far back. So if there's a time when you need to choke up, I mean, you can do it a little bit, but I probably would not, just because that's nothing that's going to protect your hand from sliding onto that edge. Now, one of the things that make Isham designs so special is going to be that you see that flipper tab kind of pointing out towards the top. Unfortunately, the action it's not the best on the Theta. It really does. It takes a little more effort to deploy it than I thought it would, and it cannot tolerate any kind of lock bar pressure, because then you just won't be able to deploy the blade. I do really like this flipper design, because one of the reasons it gives me a little more confidence, because when carrying it in the pocket, so I'm not worried about the flipper tab like on a standard. I'm not worried about the flipper tab catching something or pushing up against something and then opening the blade in my pocket, which it's happened. And the thumb hole, though, that thumb slot, that's another story. Now, for me personally, I am unable to deploy the blade using that thumb slot. And I know, yes, part of that is because I'm a lefty, so I'm kind of pushing on the lock bar at the same time that I'm trying to deploy the blade. So for righties, this might be a little bit better. And those of you that actually have this knife and you are right-handed, if you would just leave me a comment down in the section below about, are you able to deploy the blade using that thumb slot? Closing the knife, now that is a little bit awkward for me because of the detent is super strong. Not to be able to shake that one loose. So the strong detent and the flipper design make it kind of difficult, well, not difficult, awkward, when I have to close the knife. And you know, you can't do the thumbnail closed because nothing there. And yeah, it's not, I mean, it does drop. I really got to do quite a bit of shaking. So I will see how long it takes for this ball bearing pivot to actually break in. Now in my example here, it looks like, yeah, the frame's locking up at about 20%, and check the centering. Oh yeah, wow, that's perfect. Now even with the Theta's very, very angular kind of design, I was unable to, I couldn't find any sharp edges anywhere on these titanium scales. So it's, yeah, it feels pretty good. Even though that this handle is about 4.36 inches in length, you can see I wear a medium-sized glove. I can barely fit all 4 of my fingers here on the handle. And also, if you notice, so it starts to narrow down as you get closer to the pommel end, which makes it feel even less substantial down here by the pinky. And the handle thickness is almost exactly a ½ inch. I honestly thought it was going to be way over a ½ inch, but nope. The traction here on the titanium scales, it's a little better than I thought it would be, just because it looks pretty slick, but no, that's pretty confident grip as far as traction is concerned. Now, I will tell you this, I was very, very surprised that there's no jimping. Yeah, none. Not even, this is where I would expect it, up here on the flipper tab. So if you look at, I want to bring out the Elijah Isham design, and you can see, yeah, this flipper tab has some jimping on there, which really does help. As you can see, the pocket clip, it's tip up only, and oh, look at that, no lefty love. Yep, just for you righties. I really do, this is one of the rare occasions where I actually do like the milled titanium pocket clip, because well, just look at it. I mean, it matches the rest of the overall design of this knife. Now, it's not deep carry, but it also, so it'd be right about, let me make sure I'm in the right spot, right about there. Yeah, see, that doesn't leave a ton hanging out of the pocket. How's about we go ahead and check how this 4mm thick blade, let's see how it cuts. Holy crap. Oh my gosh, that was nothing. Wow. Yeah, that is a fantastic cutter. Before I go ahead and toss this up on the scale, I just kind of wanted to show you that this, you can see, yeah, look at that. Wide open construction with it's just got the one barrel spacer, which also means that this is pretty darn easy to disassemble. And if you look on the inside, there is no skeletonization going on, so let's see how that's going to affect our weight here. That's not bad. I mean, it's a shorter knife, but 4 ounces, 3.9, I thought it was going to be heavier. That's going to be roughly about, let's check. Okay, so a little more, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 5 AA batteries. Let's check it up against, wow, almost, yeah, it's the exact same weight as this Ganzo Firebird FH31. And I have already reviewed this knife. So if you look up there, yep, you see there up in the corner, you go ahead and click on that icon and you can watch my full review on this Ganzo Firebird FH31. Before we go ahead and get to my potential deal breakers, of course, you know, I got a question for you. And really all I would like to know is if you're a fan of Elijah Isham designs, which one is your favorite? Just let me know down in the comment section below. So potential deal breaker number 1 is, it's a bad one, because when this is closed, you see how far that reaches the spine of the handle. Maybe like this. There. Yeah, so I'm able to, I can kind of feel it when I rub my finger. Now it's not cutting me, so maybe it's not that big of a deal. So this is one of those times when it would be really, really good to have those, you know, those big sausage fingers when you're handling this knife, because then you won't be able to get your finger in there. I don't know. And second potential deal breaker is regarding the grip. Yeah, it's pretty far away from the blade, and it makes this handle, which already feels like there isn't much room, but it makes it even seem shorter because of how far back you are. And the third potential deal breaker is the jimping. I mean, at least on the spine of the blade, just a little bit of jimping, or even better yet, on that flipper tab. Next is going to be regarding the flipper tab as well. Now, since this is not like your standard flipper tabs that come out the back, this might take a minute for some of you, to learn, to get to develop that muscle memory. And last one, and you know what, I'm not even going to call this last one a potential deal breaker, because it's a nitpick. But if you listen, I really do not like the sound that this makes when it's deployed. So now, where does that leave us here with the Kizer Theta? Well, if you're looking to finally get your hands on an Isham design, if you're really interested to see what the deal is, I don't know, I'm not so sure that you should start with this one. This just might not be the best representation of his work, although it is one of the lower price models at $180. My gut told me not to get this, but of course I didn't listen. So hey, thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe, and if you enjoyed the video at all, would you leave me a thumbs up? Take care.